Howdy folks, I'm a naughty noisemaker noisily narrating New Year's nonsense.
I'm Amber.
And never has there been a more fitting description of me. Let's get started. Amber's not feeling up to recording today, but she did pick out this lovely filter for me to wear. Thanks, Amber.
You're welcome.
Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Wanting My Future Sister-in-Law to Pay for a Replacement Wedding Dress After She Modernized the First One? I'm a 24-year-old female, and I'm engaged to my fiancé, Adrian, a 25-year-old male. I just managed to luck out, and I purchased a vintage wedding dress for about $1,200 from a lovely older woman who was selling it on eBay. I have a future sister-in-law, Selena, a 22-year-old female who I let store the dress in her own home while Adrian and I deep clean our closet so it didn't get damaged and wasn't hanging around for anyone besides immediate family or close friends to see. Yesterday, Adrian and I went to go pick up the dress since we were done cleaning out our closet. I was so excited to have it back, and I was planning on showing it to my mother. To my shock and horror, Selena had, in her own words, modernized the dress while it was at her place. She had gutted it. It was now essentially a mini dress with barely any resemblance to what it was previously. I freaked out at her, saying that she had no right to do that to my wedding dress and that she had ruined it. Selena complained, saying that it was a surprise and supposed to be a pre-wedding/engagement gift. Selena tried to get Adrian to defend her, but he sided with me and said that she completely and utterly overstepped, which surprised me because he's pretty protective over her. We left without the dress, and Selena muttered about how she did me a favor. It was later that night when I got the idea to make her pay for another wedding dress. There was another dress that I had been eyeing that cost a bit less, but I had chose the other dress over it. I talked about it with my fiancé, and he agreed that Selena should pay for the dress since she ruined the first one. I sent the link to the dress to Selena over text, and I asked her to pay for it. Selena texted back saying that she wouldn't pay for the replacement dress, and that I should be fine with wearing the first one or paying for the replacement dress myself. We argued over text for a little while before Selena just stopped responding and left me on red. This morning, I checked my phone and saw a voicemail by my future mother-in-law saying that Selena shouldn't have to pay for the replacement and that the alterations that she made were a sweet gift. I asked Adrian about it, and he said that I should stick to my plans for making Selena pay for it. But now that my future mother-in-law is involved, I'm reconsidering it. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk, but have Adrian handle this. It's his family. What she did is just completely unacceptable. You don't get to take someone else's property and modify it to your likings and pretend like it's a gift. No, she stole your dress. She ruined it. And if you were to take her to small claims court, it would be pretty easy, I think, to show that she destroyed the dress. This was not done to your specifications or anything.
You know, I feel bad for Selena here in the respect that it seems like she sincerely believed what she was doing was a favor. And sometimes people have artistic visions, and you should really save those artistic visions for your own wedding. And I certainly sympathize that Selena feels like she is being a good person, but she needed to consult somebody other than herself to do this.
Well, that's the thing, is people have different styles, different tastes. You can't just assume that someone else is going to like the exact same things you like. And to take something as cherished as a wedding dress and just like restructure it according to your vision. I mean, most people don't wear mini dresses to their wedding.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with wearing a mini dress to your wedding, but like it sounds like it's not very classically bridal anymore.
No. I think that what should probably be done from here is see if Selena can sell the dress, or if she wants to buy it off of OP and wear it for her own wedding, for instance. Then maybe they can recoup some of the cost for the wedding dress, because it sounds like it's a perfectly wearable dress. It just isn't what OP wants, right? So they might be able to actually sell this dress. I don't know if they're going to get the same amount as what OP paid for it.
No, I mean, if it's a mini dress, most people aren't going to buy it as a wedding dress.
Yeah. But they'll at least be able to pay for some of the, damage here that they've done. Now, I also feel bad for OP because they had their heart set on this dress. They really wanted to wear a particular dress and Selena went and ruined it. And I think that Selena doesn't really understand what I don't understand why Selena doesn't understand what she did was pretty devastating.
I mean, it sounds like she might be a little coddled. Like, OP seemed surprised that her fiance took her side, which is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Like, you should expect your partner generally,
Yeah.
generally to take your side.
I mean, that's actually a really good point here, where he's actually normally it seems like he might have taken Selena's side, and OP surprised because he didn't. So I think that that is pretty telling. I mean, I think that's a good point.
And so it just seems like she may never have consequences for her actions, and it's about time that she faced some.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Traditional Baker says, what the heck? Who alters someone's wedding dress without being asked? She should definitely pay for a new dress. If future mother-in-law thinks that this was a good idea, she can buy you a new dress. And Sheikh Amat says, seamstress and tailors who alter wedding dresses will have multiple phone calls, measurements, sketches, just to make sure it's correct. And they know what they are doing. It's their job. You don't ever mess with someone else's wedding dress. I think that's actually a really good point. There are a lot of sketches that happen before an alteration, and generally someone will make sure that it's exactly what they want before going ahead and making alterations. It's a big thing, right? And especially chopping up a dress as much as this one was chopped up, it just seems like a tremendously bad idea and poor foresight. And Pino Brad says, small claims and no wedding invite for future sister-in-law. If future mother-in-law doesn't like it, too bad. And you could just not invite her for less drama. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing My Son's Christmas Gift? I'm a 40s male, and I live with my wife, a 40s female, and our youngest child, an 18-year-old male. Times have been tough for us the last few months. Our bills are paid, but we have essentially no discretionary income, and that means Christmas presents were pretty much off the table this year. This is the first Christmas where this has been the case, and my wife and I have been pretty sad. Our son is aware of this, and being the empathetic kid that he is, was accepting of the situation. He's also lucky in that we have a few wealthy relatives who give him money for Christmas each year. So Christmas morning comes around, and our son comes in and gives us a card. We smile and open them, and in each is $100. It almost brought tears to my eyes. He used his own Christmas money to give us a gift, even though we couldn't give him anything. Here's where I'm torn. I got up, I gave him a hug, and I thanked him, and then I gave the money back. I told him that he will never have to give us money. My personal feeling is that gifts of money go down generations or sideways, but never up. I absolutely do not want either of my children giving me money, and would never ask. It just seems wrong. He seemed a bit disappointed. I took the cards and I put them up over the mantle over the fireplace, and made a big deal over how much we liked them, but I refused the money. I told him to keep it and buy himself something nice with it. Am I the jerk for refusing this gift? Edit to add, many here have suggested that I let him treat us to a nice dinner. I've just spoken to him, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you so much for your feedback and kind words. I especially appreciate the YTA votes that included positive feedback and advice. I hope that everyone has a happy new year. Alright folks, what do you think of this one?
I think that's a very nice resolution. I don't think there were any jerks here. It was a little bit of a tricky situation. The son wanted to do something nice for OP. OP understandably didn't want to take his kid's Christmas money. So I'm glad they found a nice compromise.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any problem in the situation. I think that OP is right to want to make sure that their kid has the best head start in life that they can possibly get. And if that means helping them put money away and save money, then that's a really great thing. Now, I think that he is understandably probably a little disappointed, but I think the resolution here where he's taking them out to dinner, that's going to be a perfectly good solution. So hopefully things are looking up for OP in the future, and hopefully they have a chance to actually have some more discretionary income at some point in time. It sounds like this is just the first year, and it might be hard on a lot of folks. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for giving my son coal for Christmas? I'm a 39-year-old female and my husband is a 43-year-old male. And our children are 11 male, 10 female, and 7 female. We do the whole Santa thing every year for our kids, and every year Santa has the same expectations for them. They are well behaved, maintain good grades, and help with keeping the family house clean. My children understand this and usually try their best. However, this year my son Michael hasn't really kept up with his grades expectations. He's usually the type to get straight A's and is the joy to have in class. But this year he's been doing poorly in math and getting C average at best. I've tried rewards and incentives for getting good grades on work, helping him with his homework and after school programs, but nothing seems to work. In the beginning of December, I let him know that he wouldn't get anything from Santa if he didn't get his grades up, and that seemed to get him off his butt and get him into gear. For a bit, he was starting to excel again, but around the middle of the month, his grades dropped again. I equated this to thinking that he had done good enough and now he doesn't have to try. I tried again to help him, but still nothing. So I followed through with the rules on Christmas Eve and I wrapped him coal from Santa. Then, on Christmas Day, when he opened it, he cried about being good, and thinking that Santa hated him. I told him blankly that maybe Santa gave you that because you didn't get good grades like you were supposed to. He spent the rest of the day sad as his sisters enjoyed their gifts from Santa. My husband pulled me aside later in the day and asked what was wrong with me. And I told him that he knew what his expectations were and didn't get good grades like he was supposed to. We then argued as he thought that I should have given him real presents anyways, and that he tried, but I wanted to stick to my guns and made sure that the kids know that I won't accept less than what is already expected. My husband has been ignoring me, and now I'm wondering if maybe I was in the wrong. Am I in the wrong? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I think OP is a huge jerk here, and I hate using Santa as a punitive measure. If you want to do Santa presents, that's fine, but to make it like you have to have all your grades up and clean this and that, or you don't get Santa gifts, like that's a really, really cruel way to handle it. It sounds like OP's son is struggling in math for the first time. It sounds like his other grades are fine. It's one subject. And instead of trying to figure out why he's having so much trouble, OP went straight to, I'm going to punish you into getting good grades.
Well, there's a lot there. If he is just not trying in class, that's one thing. If this is an actual, academic issue, it's too hard for him or he's not getting the material, that's a completely different situation. As for whether or not Santa should be used as a punitive measure, I mean, I agree with you. I don't believe that Santa should be a punitive measure. And if he's 11 and he still believes in Santa, like that, I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing, but maybe at some point in time there might be a conversation due because that's probably not necessarily a great place to be. He should know that these are your expectations and that you're the person applying these punitive measures and not Santa Claus, in my opinion.
OP is using Santa as a shield. So, oh, well, Santa's punishing you. No, it's you. Yeah. Come right out and tell your son that you're the one who's punishing him.
Exactly. And that's one of the big problems I have with this is that it's using Santa Claus as a shield so that you don't have to face the consequences of your son being angry or disappointed with you. And that's understandable. You know, situations and families are difficult, but you really should not be hiding behind a Santa Claus figure to be like, I want to punish you, so you're getting no presents, right?
Well, it just feels like such an outsized reaction. And then to give his two sisters presents in front of him, like, sometimes kids behave abhorrently and need consequences, but getting a bad grade in one subject is not the kind of thing where you're like, I'm going to take out all your presents while your sisters play happily.
Well, I also have another problem, and the problem is with the husband. How does he not know what their son was getting for Christmas?
Well, yeah, it seems like the husband is an uninvolved parent and kind of left it up to OP, and then it was like, wait, you really just gave him coal for Christmas? Like, he should have been part of this the whole way.
Yeah, there should have been some kind of discussion leading up to Christmas between the two of you about what you are getting your kids for Christmas. And the fact that he isn't involved in this is pretty strange and pretty telling as well.
Yeah. So OP's husband needs to step up, and OP needs to rethink her approach and maybe investigate if there are reasons why her son might be struggling instead of assuming that it's just because he's goofing off or something.
Yeah, and again, like I think that maybe potentially counseling is a good place to start. Like if he's having academic issues, then maybe they can talk to him, figure out if there's some learning disability, because sometimes learning disabilities can interfere with aptitude in certain classes. Maybe this is just pure him not liking or wanting to do math. Maybe it's a personality conflict with the teacher.
Right, if math is taught by a different teacher, it could also be different in like style of teaching or different standards or something like that. Once you hit 11, that's like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah.
Sometimes, middle school math can be tricky for kids.
Yeah. And so I think that there's a lot here that OP can do, and there's a lot of room for OP to improve, and a lot of room for their family to have some improvement as well. So it's a sad situation because again, like I really feel like OP should have made it very clear that these were their expectations. Again, the whole Santa's punishing you, not me, is just not a good place to be. He was probably expecting Santa Claus to be on his side because it's just one bad grade or something like that, right? I'm doing good just fine. And he wasn't probably not expecting to be held to your particular standards.
And now he's feeling hurt and abandoned by Santa Claus.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
What would you get if you crossed a corvid with a guardian of the harvest?
Well, I can tell you exactly what you would get if you crossed a corvid with the guardian of the harvest. You would get a scary scarecrow with a crow mounted on its shoulder, encompassing all of the things that we fear and don't fear, and therefore protecting everything.
A scared crow.
A scared crow? Oh, well, I was actually very close. And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior!
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today. Thanks so much to Amber for giving me a deer face so I can horrify everyone.
You're welcome.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it in the form of an inspirational poster.
Go for it. Achieve your dreams, unless it involves destroying your sister-in-law's wedding dress.
I think that is sound advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.